Whenever watching us around the world, you're welcome back to U45 Morning Show. It is now time for us to take conversation to the front corner. And what are we looking at today? It's actually COVID-19 against fake news pandemic in Nigeria. It's two sides of a coin for us in the studio because we have two noble Nigerians to look at the issues. The first is a gentleman, Seun Awosika, is an investigative journalist. He runs seunawosika.com, where you can get stories you want to give credit to. And of course, we have a legal luminary in the house. He is a human rights activist. We have Adebisi Sogunle. He is a lawyer, and today he's going to be taking it from the side of NCDC issues around the bill that has been presented, the Infectious Disease Act presented to the National Assembly. And people are really looking at the rush of it. But for us to start this conversation, it would be very important for us to just have an intro from our guests. First of all, their thoughts and perception about COVID-19 from the government standpoint. How did we arrest it before we get into the matter? It's a pleasure to have you gentlemen in the studio.
It's beautiful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay, so Seun, let's just take your first 60 seconds into the matter now. COVID-19 from the 27th of February, the very first case. How will you say Nigeria address the situation first?
Well, being a developing country, there isn't much we can do. I feel for one that most of the conversations we are having now are things we should have had before now. It has come to expose a lot of things, really, you know. So right now, I'm not sure there's much we can do. We can't do more than we are actually doing now, because if you look at the Americas of this world, the UK, the United Kingdoms of this world, you look at Italy, you look at Spain, you see that they were long prepared for this, even though it wasn't happening at that time. You look at China, it was a well-organized society, well-organized system. There was already a system in place. And so when this happened, even though they're getting overwhelmed now, but I mean, I feel they're handling it pretty well, while we're just rushing into getting processes we should have had a long time ago. So okay. We're doing well. We're doing well. However, there's a lot of deception going around. Lots of self-denial. I'm not sure it's the right time to go into that right now.
Because I know as an investigative journalist, that part will always come to you. But let's take this conversation to the legal standpoint. Lockdown has a legal implication in it when you're locking down. Let's talk about the first approach from federal government and how, using Lagos as a case study, states were able to take up the situation too.
Well, you know, COVID-19 is a world phenomenon, okay? It's not a local situation, okay? It's not like the Ebola crisis that was localized to West Africa and some other countries in East Africa. Now, COVID-19, the genesis came from November, December last year in China. And before long, it became a global pandemic. Now, in a global space, Nigeria needs to find its level and be able to take decisions that will protect its own people. Because right now, one of the beautiful fallout of the global phenomenon that is COVID-19 is that you must look back and look into yourself and chart your own way. That's a good thing.
Okay.
In all ramifications: legal, health, economy. You must look back.
Okay.
Because everybody is saying stay in your country. You have to stay in your own and look for your own local solution.
I'll interject there.
Yes.
Interesting word, local solution. And
Yes.
that is why we will take the conversation now to our viewers, where situation around the NCDC Infectious Disease Act, which is one of the front burner for the country right now. I'd like to establish something. This bill was actually pushed in the first week, just at the end of the month, that's April, culminating into the first and second day of May. And I would like to say, take an extract quickly. So what we have on the screen is the Infectious Disease Act, and few things here is the first, just to introduce it. Now,
the proposed act is actually
act.
a proposed act.
Yes.
Yes, it's still a bill.
So,
Okay.
so let's come back to the studio just before I take some points from that. How long does an act such as this take in a conventional standard now in the National Assembly?
Now, you see, there is a lot of noise in the marketplace. But you know, if you're going to make a change, you don't join those who are making noise in the marketplace. Okay. And there is a need for us to have a candid discussion on this bill, this proposed act.
Okay.
And when I say candid, you know, you have to take into consideration where we are and where we are going. Now, before the bill, the law that is being used to administer the situation we found ourselves in is called the Quarantine Act.
Quarantine Act.
Now, the Quarantine Act is not a law made by Nigerians for Nigerians. It's a law made by the colonialists. When Nigeria was governed from Britain by the Queen, and we have Governor Generals governing us, those who are lawyers and who did legal system, in their year 2, I don't know the year they teach legal system now in the university, but when we were in school, in year 2, you do what you call the legal system. And you know what they call status of general application. So the Quarantine Act is a SOGA that became incorporated into our law because it was passed and it was not abrogated.
Okay.
And several years ago, a law that was passed by 65 years ago, they had to go and look for that law when some lawyers and some human rights activists started challenging the power being exercised by the president. So those in the Ministry of Justice say, okay, that is a Quarantine Act. Because the Ministry of Justice also have a library where you have all the laws that are Nigerian laws, either our own laws made by our legislators or the ones we inherited from the British, where they are. So they just made the person say, okay, there is a Quarantine Act, let us bring it out. And that was what the president now used to justify, legally justify the steps he is taking.
Okay.
You know, so that Quarantine Act, must it be amended? Yes. Because we cannot be using law that was made in the colonial time, 1960, pre-1960, 60, 70 years ago, to still be running our affairs in 2020. So that they want to amend that law, I am in support. But the next question is, which law should we have? And that's what this law, the proposed act, the bill, comes into perspective. You know, in the marketplace, they call it NCDC bill, or NCDC law, or NCDC act. It's not. The name is Infectious Disease Act. Proposed Infectious Disease Act. It's a bill.
Okay, so if it is a bill,
Yes.
Reading through it,
Yes.
even as a Nigerian,
Yes.
not a lawyer, not a medical doctor, 90% of the powers in that document is ceded to the Director General of NCDC.
That is where the problem starts from. And I will tell you why. You know, you have to check the reasoning of the people. That bill must have been, you know, lawyers draft laws. And I can tell you, the legal department of NCDC, they have a lot to do with that bill.
Okay, so I'd like to interject.
Yes.
Some other quarter in Nigeria are saying there is about 75% plagiarism in that particular document, looking at what happened in Singapore, and a document found in Singapore in the 70s, We might be taking this conversation further to actually deep dive to that point. But let's bring the second part of it to the screen for want of time, so I can engage Seun and Awosika as well. The second part of it, number 2 there, will have to do with the law, which the power in that document that allows the DG, that allows NCDC, I beg your pardon, or a health professional that is given the mandate of the Director General to actually vaccinate a child or any person, as it were. Let's have that particular second one on the screen so that we can engage our viewers a little bit. Now, okay, this is still, let's go to the third one. Let's go to the third one quickly. This is still part of what the introduction is all about. Now, this is for enforcement. Powers of center in dealing with outbreak and suspected outbreak of infectious diseases. Now, the very first thing there, for the purpose of investigating into any outbreak or suspected outbreak of an infectious disease, or for the purpose of preventing the spread or possible outbreak of an infectious disease, the Director General or any authorized health officer may, A, at any time, without warrants and with such force as may be necessary. Let's look at this particular portion of it a little bit, just to establish. Conventionally, as a lawyer, with your knowledge being around for how long you've been, is there anywhere that we can have such playouts where, without my consent, you come into my house in the morning because it says if the Director General or the health officer feels or believes the person is taken away by force, vaccinated or quarantined or whatever.
Okay, I want to take you back again to what you said, and that's why I said, let us leave the marketplace and come into this realm of intellectual discussion of this bill. In the first place, you said Singapore. All over the world, they don't make laws in the air. People will look at what somebody has done before to say, okay, we want to be guided by this. And that's why I told you about local solution. Local solution. So this bill, wherever they got it from, that's not my problem. My own challenge is that should we, as a people, allow one individual, the Director General of NCDC, I'm not talking about this person, whoever that person is going to be, the office, should we allow that individual to have such an humongous power? Everybody knows that power corrupts. An absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I'll tell you something. You see, Nigerians don't usually remember history very well. There is always a collective amnesia in our country. Just some 3 years ago, the first year of the administration of this regime, there is one organization like this NDCD. They call it the organization, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. FRCN. The Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria was set up to just regulate reports, financial reports of companies, all those things. You know, you submit your financial report. If you're a PLC, the law was copied from somewhere and was passed until they appointed one. I won't dignify that man by mentioning his name. Until they appointed him, and he became a monster. He harassed professionals, lawyers, accountants. He said, if you are going to have your name in a financial report, you must register with me. Meanwhile, it's not a registration person. He harassed the Corporate Affairs Commission. He told the Corporate Affairs Commission that I have a right to regulate how companies are run in Nigeria. It's not his mandate. He harassed public companies, PLCs, private companies. He even said that if your father set up a private company, your own father, you are not supposed to inherit that company. And he made a regulation that he was about to turn into law. He harassed the church. He harassed the mosque. He became an unruly horse. That even the minister, who is his supervisory minister, Minister for Trade at that time, one Enelama, could not control him. They couldn't control the man. He was appointed by the regime of Jonathan. Because it's a statutory tenured appointment. So when this new regime came, it continued. They didn't remove him. It became an unruly horse.
Okay.
And that's the reason why whoever is interested in the progress of Nigeria, from the Speaker of the House of Reps, who himself presented this bill before the House, he should look at it. Should you give an individual, the DG, these enormous powers from Section 1? Even inside that bill, do you know that if you donate blood in Nigeria, okay, in Nigeria here,
yes,
we don't have a blood bank. We don't have a rich blood bank.
I was going to
go to South Africa. They have a rich blood bank. An hospital can call a number and they will bring blood. They don't have only a rich blood bank. They have what is called milk bank. That is breast milk. Mm-hmm. They have it. You will make payment in a bank and they will give you breast milk. We don't have a blood bank. And you are saying that if somebody gave false information.
Right. So let's look at some of the issues here now.
Yes.
I was going to come to that. Can we just take this forward a little bit? Let's look at the fifth from what we got as extract. Okay, so here now, this is very interesting. Now, responsibility of parents. This is from vaccination angle now.
Yeah.
Seun, I wish you can just hold your thoughts. We're going to look at your concerns. The parent or guardian of every child in Nigeria shall ensure that the child is vaccinated against the disease set out in the fourth schedule. Quick one to the second. The registrar of births and deaths shall immediately after registration of the birth of a child issue to the parent or guardian of the child a notice requiring the child to be vaccinated against the disease to which this section applies. Now, you said it's an act, just like we're looking at. It's a proposed act. If this comes into play, it means that are we suggesting from this part here that it's only when there is an outbreak that this happens, or automatically moving forward, once a child is born, the child is being vaccinated moving forward, because we don't know when COVID-19 is going to lapse and we say it's over. But that document there states that as soon as the child is given birth to, a document is given to the parents mandating the parents or the guardian to allow the child to be vaccinated.
Okay, I think you want Seun to come on board. So Seun come on board.
I'll just throw the question back. What vaccine are we talking about?
Okay, interesting.
That's the problem.
Okay.
There's no vaccine yet, and we're bringing forward a bill against that. Well, other African countries, a smaller African country, Madagascar, has come up with
COVID organic.
COVID organic.
Okay, so Seun, let's go to fake news quickly. I'll come back to.
So much. Sorry, Chris. So much as yes, it is good to look at what other people are doing, then bring it back home, analyze it. But we don't do that.
Okay.
We just come up, copy,
and paste. Let's look at what's just left the screen just now. Going to fake news. COVID-19. There is a lot of there are so many sides to it now. During the first case in Nigeria, we actually have an elder statesman saying there is no coronavirus in Nigeria. The Minister of Health cooks the story to defraud the government. I want to see the Italian man. I won't get the virus too. Now, let's look at reality check here. Some other sector are saying the numbers that we have are being doctored. Several things going on. But as an investigative journalist, let's get your situation in terms of the presence of COVID-19 in Nigeria, plus or minus the big boys that actually, when I say big boys, those that you might want to call the elites that actually got it as well, even governors of states, they've gone into their quarantine stage, isolation stage, and they are now out and saying they are healthy.
Well, the first thing people need to know is COVID-19 is real. But I'll start from that story. It's fake news, as we know now, because the spokesman for former President Obasanjo eventually came out to debunk the claims. Okay, so that's fake news. Now, for people saying COVID-19 is not real, I sit back and I begin to wonder. Let's look at it on the ordinary, on the surface first, before we go to the profession. Is it possible for people to come out and say they are sick actually when they are not? I mean, in the US as we speak, on a daily basis, they record 20,000 over to an averagely 20,000 cases with 1,000 deaths. So how is it possible to pay all those people? Now, if you're striking an argument around whether COVID-19 is human-made, then we may begin to research into that. But that COVID-19 is not real is fake news.
It's fake news again,
it's fake news again. Yeah. Then you look at people saying it's for the big boys. Okay, let's even assume it's for the big boys. These big boys have drivers, they have cooks, they have mates, and those mates live amongst us. So,
They have janitors,
I mean,
yeah.
they're going to go to work, come back home, and that is one reason I would, as a journalist, not support a gradual ease. I know it's not easy. I mean, I've been to places, I've interviewed people. I will not support a gradual ease, because it's like the government telling you, okay, you go out there, contract the virus, then bring it back home to your family in a system, in a failed health system.
I'd like you to continue from this one I'm going to ask you now, because we're bringing this conversation just to mix it up, situation around what we have, because we don't have that stretch of time. Some other people are asking, how do you justify opening up the market and workplace and shutting down churches and mosques? Which is more organized for people to spread or not to spread COVID-19? I'd like to get your thoughts quickly.
But I can tell you that, you see, life is very spiritual. And those who are in authorities, sometimes they make decisions that in their intellect looks sound, but spiritually they are influenced by the devil. So that is the truth, and that's not a marketplace analysis. It takes the spiritual to look into the spiritual. So you have asked this question: if the marketplace, like the markets in Mile 12 in Lagos, that is not organized, can be allowed to operate, then you say churches should not operate, then it shows you the depth of their thinking and the influence that they have.
Okay.
And it's not because those who are taking that decisions, in quote, they are not Christians. No. But if your eyes of understanding is darkened, you can't see.
All right. Seun, Awosika, your thoughts.
Okay, I was going to say one of the arguments that they put forward is that when you go to the market, you don't know people there. There's no reason to get familiar with people. But when you come to churches, you want to hug your brother, you want to hug your sister, you want to touch the pastor wants to lay hands on you to anoint you and all of that. So that could cause a spread of COVID-19. But I mean, I've been to markets, and I went to a market in the Abattoir Meat Market, which is one of the most popular markets in Lagos. And you find out that, I mean, even if you're telling people not to come out to these markets, you put some measures. The government has done absolutely nothing. It was the market who contributed money, put a drum outside. At some point, they ran out of soap and sanitizer. So they were trying to gather money just to show us on camera at least.
But the truth is that
I mean, for the government to now say the church could have been a more organized place, the church could at least afford to put soap, sanitizer, but for markets that are struggling, and you say, okay, come out. So I feel it's, as I said in my intro, we need to put systems in place. You know, when you go to the advanced countries, you go to even some of their supermarkets, you see lane markings everywhere. Even in India, we've seen a lot of that. Yeah, but here, I mean, it's nothing.
We're going to come down to transportation quickly, because we saw the last month officials trying to hold down a lot of vehicles not following the guidelines of Lagos. But because the proposed bill is very important to us, I'd like to establish something so that we can go forward. I'd like to bring up what the People's Democratic Party on the 2nd day of May, that's just one day after the Workers' Day celebration, even though it was done while people are isolating at home, what they said and how they engage the Speaker of the House. Quick one here. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, faulted moves by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, to pass the Infectious Disease Control Bill without recourse. Now, I'll take a quick one forward. It says here, this is even as the party described the move as an attempt to shut out Nigerians from public debate on such crucial legislation as ominous and raises suspicion, keyword there, of sinister objective as the nation combats the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Also, in a statement issued by the spokesman, this is Kola Ologudinyo, the PDP spokesman, he said the bill seeks to prescribe clauses on critical issues, particularly that of vaccination, which has become globally controversial in the face of raging conspiracy theories on the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to add, so that we can get to the council and the house, it added, the PDP is alarmed that such approach is already worsening public mistrust in the polity, as well as heightening apprehension over the intention of the presiding officers of the House of Representatives and the All Progressive Congress-led administration at this critical time. The PDP insists that Nigerians must be carried along in the decision-making process of such critical legislation, which seeks to make provision that will directly affect their health as well as overall individual and collective safety and well-being. Now, in conclusion, the party stresses that anything short of that would be counterproductive and capable of breeding an avoidable public resistance, especially given the deepening fear and anxiety in the polity over COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this is a political party. Are we going to say they were trying to score a point, or this is really
you know my reaction? You see, I told you, let us leave the marketplace, and I will not be dragged into the marketplace. Politics apart. Our politicians are very funny. This same people that said this, the members will queue up to pass this bill if the people do not take the battle to them.
Okay.
So let's leave what they have said.
All right.
Okay, now, the infectious bill is not COVID-19 bill. So we must separate it. Now, as we are, as a nation, do they vaccinate our children when they are born? Vaccination is taking place. So vaccination of children is not the problem.
Okay.
It is what the bill is introducing. And now the bill is saying that if you don't do this, you are a criminal.
So what should an average Nigerian...
Just hold on. If you don't do this, you are a criminal. If you go to antenatal class, you are told, when you have your child, in so, take vaccination, so. There is no criminality in it.
Okay.
But with this bill now, failure makes you a criminal. Why should you criminalize health issues? That's my own.
So what should Nigerians know?
Not this marketplace noise. Don't criminalize health issues. Health issues are fundamental.
Okay.
So you give incentive to people to do the right thing.
Okay, your counsel. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break for two reasons. Shewa, Awosika, just hold your thoughts. For two reasons. Now, we're going to quickly take this break. We'll bring something in what we call vernacular, or the pidgin language, which is actually courtesy one of the presenters here on Super Screen. He went out, he engaged people. We'll take probably 120 seconds from that. We'll come back. Your counsel, I would like you to please, from the proposed bill, please look at the portions you would like to tell or educate our viewers on what we should know and how we should get prepared, plus or minus. Then Seun, please, you will be looking at some of the news I'll quickly push to you. Okay. So we'll take this break now. It's U45, and when we come back, it will be time for us to take your phone calls and take the conversation further. We'll have about half an hour to do this together. Do join us again.
hope you and your with there and it happen inside Super Scream TV. You there for there, I there for here. We not fit jam body and you self one chook mouth for the matter where we get for hand today. Or country people, before we enter inside this matter, we dey come make we run go for small sharp break. Make you not touch.
People where they want, if I don't even know the kind of government where we do. I regret that I come from. I don't bomb me for this Nigeria. So me and my friend even talk about this yesterday. I said Nigeria no be country, no be country. Oh. Okay. In fact, Nigeria na factory. We everywhere they hot. Everywhere they hot. Papa gone and mama they no fit do well. You know, that's why no man gonna be saying be man. Imagine. Wetin be the source of income or wetin they provide give their citizens.
Now they're gonna do by fire by force vaccination. They not do by fire by force make people get work. They not do by fire by force make people shop, make they put money for people account.
The matter make them know even if they do them, people they send gun they go hear them. Because everybody they wait for them. For 1 month, person no go work. How you want you survive? And meanwhile, some people be saying on daily basis now that they use they eat.
Okay.
Can't think of one of our neighbor for 2 weeks, you know, eat. Now God say me person go check him inside house. The guy down the street. Now I for see say now first time I go see say hungry give person die with that. See people come they give him food. And meanwhile when I wait till the guy they also for now they use they eat. They pay extra and they do this one. How they want person when they want to do something they go use one English back and up. Not true now. They go use one English back and up. If the Nigeria government tell you say na yes, then you know say na no. No. They tell you say na money, may you know say na night. Now you dey. So make you know the.
Greet your people for us. Greet them.
My people then I dey hate now. I swear I dey hate now.
You dey watch Super Screen TV?
Well.
You dey watch? You dey watch them?
I swear to God. Now I know we dey subscribe for this Go TV because at the end of the day when you subscribe, they go take light go for 3 months.
Okay.
And you don't pay for 1 month.
Okay. Super Screen. Enjoy your day, huh? How you see the by force vaccination bill wey don pass second reading for National Assembly?
We know they are even trying their best, but the best is not well done. Okay. They should try a little more and save the people's lives. So, you know, everybody is hungry.
Okay, now hungry you put your so you put hungry for inside the matter.
Yeah.
If truly it has been tested and confirmed, then it's a good one. But if it has not been tested and confirmed, then it will be a very bad one for somebody to be vaccinated wrongly, or maybe they want to test that person. It will be very wrong. I mean, if they want to use the person for trial. It will be a very wrong thing.
As it be like this, how you see the vaccination matter?
Well, that vaccination matter, man, I don't really like am because if they bring that kind of vaccination now, you go just keep people anyhow. Because why you just won't put something for person body way person don't understand. So if true the thing they real the way because based on the way they go like this, you get CB. You understand? You get CB, my brother. Because just check am now. Say if bros you get us.
I feel you. As it can be as it be like this, if they come your hood.
Welcome back to the program, and now we'll ask you the question from home. Would you accept vaccination, forceful or willingly, whichever way it is? Because in the coming days, haven't heard that the bill is now going to go through due process. Would you allow your child to be vaccinated? Would you allow yourself to be vaccinated? Do call us, tell us your thought about it as we take this conversation forward. Seun, quickly, let's look at fake news. What should one understand, and how best can you find out a credible news?
Okay, what really is fake news? Fake news is the deliberate attempt to spread misinformation, perhaps for the purpose of for financial gains or political gains, or just to become more popular. Yeah, so how then do we spot fake news? There are quite a number of things to look at. Spotting fake news, though, it takes you have to be patient. You don't get a story and just jump on it and start sending it to people, which is what has been happening on WhatsApp, especially. So much so that WhatsApp had to come up with a regulation that you cannot forward messages to more than 5 people. Twitter also said at the time there was a big controversy about COVID-19 and 5G. Twitter and YouTube had to ban such content from their platform. So we're talking about how to spot fake news now. I put it in a simple way so that people can remember. You have to scroll back it. That's SQOBAC. The first letter there, S. You look at the source. Where's this story coming from? Who originated the story? There was this clip that went around about some Chinese destroying
5G mats.
That went viral, and people kept using it to back up the protest against
5G
or the
deployment.
claim of the protest against 5G. And you can always track back. You can always fast check, which is one of the apps you can use to check where the original source of information. But I said, we are too much in a hurry. So I did a fast check, and you find out that this actually happened last year, way before before COVID-19.
Okay, just hold your thoughts. Let's get what Onyeka will tell us from IBA. Onyeka, please go ahead.
Hello. I'm Onyeka from IBA. I want to contribute on this discussion. You see, the issue of this vaccine has been causing a lot of controversy in this nation. If the government, they are confused on what policies they should adopt, let them to come out and tell the public. I don't see any reason why you should force any vaccine on anybody. Even a newborn baby that's about to die, you cannot force any vaccine on him. Talking of people that are so mature, I believe that they are just doing anything that comes on their way. People just give them advice, they will take immediately without any research. So this vaccine of 18, it cannot really come on board. And no scientists have really come outside they have found the vaccine. And they are still talking about the vaccine to apply on people. I want to tell you that not every Nigerian will accept that vaccine if at all they approve it. If they pass it in the national assembly, not every Nigerian will pass it. You will see people that will be ready to die for it. Because you cannot force something on me.
Okay, let's take Paul from Mushi quickly for one time. Paul, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Paul, we can hear you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, based on the issue of the vaccination that they are telling us about, my question is this: are they trying to make use of us for an experiment or what? How sure are they that this vaccination of the thing will not become to the masses of this country? Because by the way forward of looking to this very thing that happens to this world today, so-called coronavirus of the thing has no risk. As in, when you are talking of symptoms, specific symptoms, that this is a symptom of coronavirus. For us, we don't have any specific symptoms. When someone is talking of short throat or malaria.
Okay, so I want to believe you grab a little from Paul, but before you call us again, please make sure you turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a very smooth conversation here. Seun, just try and wrap up your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
so another way to spot fake news is to look at quotes in the story. Who is being quoted in the story? I've seen stories I sent you one yesterday,
Yeah.
where a certain blogger was claiming that the lockdown may be extended before Friday. So I took a look at the story. There was no quotes. It wasn't attributed to anybody.
Any
So,
source.
I mean, it was just an opinion, you know.
And he used the Lagos State logo.
He used the Lagos
and he
State
credited
logo,
it to the Lagos State
and he
government
credited
saying lockdown is coming back from
lockdown
Friday.
is coming, and that takes me to the other point. Beyond the headlines, these days, yeah, I understand that there are a lot of gadgets you want to compete with. You want to listen to radio, you want to fiddle with your phone, you want to watch TV.
Oh, okay, Seun, this is very important.
So,
please hold your thought. Let's find out what Akintola from Sogunle has to say.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, Akintola.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
What I have to say about this forceful vaccination is, number one, it's a misplacement of priority. Because people are hungry. When you ask us to stay at home, you didn't provide any good system of distributing the palliative. Imagine people in other advanced countries, Canada, US, people are staying at home. They minister to their immediate needs. Then you are coming now and saying you want to forcefully inject. Where does human rights stand here? Where does human rights stand? You want to give me something, even if someone is on the deathbed, he has the right to say, okay, give me this injection or not. He has the right. Okay. So what are we saying? I'm suspecting there is an ulterior motive behind this thing that the government is not telling us. If it's a sincere government, you should be closer to us now and explain to us so that it will appeal to our reasons, it will appeal to our understanding. We will welcome it. Not a matter of just coming and say, okay, by fire, by force, you must be vaccinated. If they want to make it by force, they should start from Aso Rock. They should do it openly. Everybody will see that they are injecting the man in Aso Rock. And wait after some time to see what will happen to him before they start talking about other Nigerians.
Thank you very much.
Life is precious now.
Thank you, Akintola from Sogunle. We will take the watch calls we can for a want of time. Let's see if our producers give us a leverage. I understand that transportation and ease of driving into the studio was actually a big trouble today. The easing of the lockdown has really cost a lot. We're going to get to this in a moment. But Seun, you have two more points I would like you to take quickly, because I want to get our lawyer's perspective really on what bothers him in that bill as we take the conversation forward.
Okay, so beyond the headlines, when you see, we're taking the example of the story from yesterday, FG to extend to lock down before Friday. So when you see such headline, the next thing you see on WhatsApp is, they said they are extending the lockdown by Friday. Who said? That's lost in the content. So don't be in a hurry. Look beyond the headlines. It could be an opinion and not properly stated. The problem we have as journalists is the coming of the new media. It's both a blessing and a curse for journalism. Everybody is a journalist today. I mean, as long as you can afford to set up a WordPress blog and you become a blogger, you're a journalist.
And you want to generate views, of course.
And you want to generate views because of the money. Remember, I said it could either be for financial gain, gaining popularity, or for political gains. You see. So one other point to look at is you look at other credible sources, credible media, if they have such story. I mean, when you look at the Super Screen have the story, does Nwaogboh.com have the story, does Punch have the story? We know the credible source. I mean, there was a time it was rumored that Abba Kyari was dead long before he actually died, you know. So I mean, because
we are bringing in the viewers, I just want to get this balance. Thank you very much for raising that particular point. Leko from Sogunle, let's have your contribution quickly. Leko. Yes, we can hear you, Leko. Please go ahead. Leko, if you can hear me from home. Okay, so we lost that one. So Seun, haven't established these few points. I think you have convinced and not confused me about how we can further ascertain when it uses credible.
One more important point.
Can you put that together?
Is the credibility of the medium from which you're getting the story. We know you can mention 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 controversial journalists as we speak. So when you see their story, I mean, one was still saying that Nnamdi Kanu was dead, but I mean, IPOB later come up to say, I mean, the man is not dead. We've had stories from same journalists who said the president is being cloned at the moment. I mean, without credible credible backing, you know. So I mean, you look at where is it coming from? Who is this person? I mean, controversial ex-convict, you know.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for bringing us to that. Okay, Paul is calling from Mushi. I suppose I got his name earlier. Paul, go ahead, please. Hello, Paul. Paul, if you can hear me, please go ahead and make your contribution. Okay, I think we'll take that again for one of time. Let's come to our ESQ Sogunle. So let's find out your general view about this proposal. Okay, Paul is here now. Paul, go ahead if you can hear me. Alright, we lost that. Okay, let's get your thoughts now. It's very important we allow you, haven't studied that document, sensitize our viewers on what we should do. One thing I'm taking home as an individual is the fact that it is a proposed bill. So let's relax.
Well, like I would say, there are a lot of things in the marketplace, and most of the things in the marketplace are not correct. There is a proposed bill, infectious disease bill. What I have against the bill, fundamental, the bill gives a lot of power to the NCDC director. That should not be so.
All right, sir.
No one person should be given such humongous power.
Okay.
2, the bill criminalizes Nigerians. Because everything in that bill says if you don't do it, you have committed an offense. We are talking about health matters, health issues. It should not be so. You know, the law is made for the good of the people.
All right. Your counsel, Darius, is calling. Let's see what Darius from Ireland is going to share with us. Darius, please go ahead. Hello, Darius.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Darius.
Okay. Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, we can hear you, Darius.
Yes, I just want to talk about the lockdown of churches.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
I just want to talk about the lockdown of churches. I take note of something. Church is the spiritual ground whereby the market is not having any contribution in the spiritual area. Because the coronavirus we are talking about today, from my perspective, it looks like spiritual, because something that can transfer from one place to the other without no saying what are physically hard is spiritual. Because the church can only be a matter of spiritual. Spiritual.
Okay. All right. If we get your point, the church should be allowed to continue.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. If we get your point, the church should be allowed to carry on activities. Now let's take 2 very important things that caught our attention in the course of it. Now, the sponsors of the NCDC are majorly international bodies such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, European Union, plus or minus what World Health Organization might give. For a body that is in a sovereign state like Nigeria, is it ideal, is it a healthy situation that the major sponsor of a disease control agency in a country is being powered by first of all, few individual and one organization outside the country itself.
See, that's why I tell you the difference between the marketplace noise and the reality.
Okay.
You see, COVID-19 has thrown a lot of things open. What do? We need to look inward to tell ourselves the home truth. If NCDC is the creation of our law and is in the Ministry of Health, it should be funded by our government.
Okay.
You see,
let's see if Mutaro has the same thoughts with you. Mutaro calling from.
Good morning,
yes.
sir.
Good morning, Mutaro.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Seun, I have to put a contribution about the vaccination.
Okay.
Let them test themselves from the House of Assembly or the National Assembly. So before they try to share the vaccination to the people in the country.
Okay.
That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. So, if there's going to be vaccination, they should first of all have a test at the National Assembly level before coming to the citizens that they are meant to serve. If you have more calls, we'll take that so that we can have more insights on the matter. Let's have the statistics of COVID-19 currently in Nigeria on the screen. You will see the numbers. Yesterday, over 190 cases was recorded. Kano is currently in contention with Lagos, moving very fast, so we can have that. Now, if you look at that, the red bar is showing where the numbers are high. Kano, that's had a case just 2 weeks ago, has come to number 2, as if this is a fight for revenue generation.
However, Chris, this is an official figure. You remember the case in Kano. They started with it was malaria, the cause of mysterious death, and eventually the governor himself came out to say it's actually COVID-19. So if you add this to the numbers, now that's not the problem. You have same problem in Jigawa, where people from over 60, over 100 people who above the age of 60 has been found dead mysteriously as well. Now same thing is happening in Taraba.
Okay, so that's what we find out. Let's take Rosie's call, Seun, please. Rose, go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Are you listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, what I want to say is concerning this vaccine, I'm thinking that when this vaccine should be like normal medicine that anybody that is suffering, that's infected, can be used on him and the person will be okay. Not to force somebody to take this vaccine. It's not the right thing. That means there's something else behind this vaccine forcefully. Someone that is not sick, you go and put something that is in the body, the thing can even develop another sickness and cause another thing.
Okay.
So I don't think that that vaccine is okay.
All right.
They should look into it.
Thank you very much, Rose. Okay, I think that will be the last for the day. Okay, we're coming to the wrap-up part now. Just before we go, you've told Nigerians to wait and see how the process goes. If at the National Assembly level, arguments can foster a review in what we have currently, because like you agreed with the conversation we established, that about 90% of that proposed Infectious Disease Control Act cedes power to the DG.
Well, I would say there is a need for that bill to be reviewed, clause by clause.
Clause by clause?
Yes. And since the House of Reps says, okay, there's going to be public hearing, then people should put together their thoughts and confront the drafters of that bill, clause by clause, and propose what I would call alternatives. You see, it's not say shut the, most people, the general people, oh, shut it down, but no, you need an infectious disease bill. You need it. Do we need one? Yes. Do we need to remove the one that is there before the Quarantine Act? Yes. But the kind we want now, we will decide it ourselves. And in deciding by ourselves, we should shine our eyes, like they say in local parlance, and say, look, this is what we want. We should not wholesale take what somebody is doing outside and import it into our own jurisdiction. Let me say this by the byline. In the last 7 weeks, you've seen the kind of power being exhibited by some governors. And me, I ask myself, if these people are just governors and they are doing like, if they become president, there will be something else. Because if you look at the constitution of our country, the enormous powers in the hand of the president, and who are those that drafted that constitution? Lawyers. Those who think they want to import America system into Nigeria, forgetting that America and Nigeria are not the same.
Okay, I think that's where we'll draw the curtain. I want to thank you very much. Seun, I want to thank you for coming to the studio. I know you have much to say, but like we know, we lost some time trying to start the program. We're going to continue this conversation. ESQ Sogunle, I want to thank you very much for making it to the studio. Your impact for today, Seun, thank you very much. And to our viewers at home, I want to thank you for being part of the process, and those of you that called into the program and calls that we couldn't take. Seriously, we must confess to you, finding our ways to the studio, just like you find your way to your business places, has been very, very tumultuous this season. But let's carry on, and don't forget that the numbers are still increasing for COVID-19. Let's do the needful. Until we come your way again, other interesting program continues right here on Super Screen. It's bye for now.